Hello everyone, my name is RBrumant and today I will be talking about the HCA healthcare data breach, and this is for the Department of Health Information Management, and I hope you enjoy it. So we will start off with our objectives. First we have the abstract, then we have the introduction, then we will move on to the breach as the discovery and method, then we will talk about data affected, then move on to response and aftermath, then the lessons learned. So to start us off, I'm giving a quick overview of what happened with the HCA healthcare breach in 2023. HCA is the largest health system in the country, so when something happens to them, the impact automatically affects a huge number of people. In 2023, HCA discovered that protected health information, things like names and contact details, had been accessed without authorization. More than 11 million patients were affected, which is massive. It ended up being the third largest healthcare breach ever reported under HIPAA. Even though no medical information or financial data was taken, the type of information that was exposed still puts people at risk for phishing or scam attempts. So this was still a serious privacy incident, just on the scale of something we don't see often. So before diving deeper, I want to give a little background on HCA. They're based in Nashville and operate in over 180 hospitals and more than 2,300 care sites across the US. So they manage an enormous amount of patient data every day. That's part of why this breach stands out. With over 11 million people affected, it became one of the biggest in the US healthcare history. Only a few breaches, like Anthem in 2015, were larger, so the HCA breach sits in that category of major events that really force us to pay attention to how healthcare systems store and protect data. It's a reminder that systems this big come with equally big cybersecurity responsibilities. So here's how the breach was actually discovered. On July 5th, patient data started showing up on an online forum. 5 days later, on July 10th, HCA publicly confirmed what had happened. What's interesting is that this wasn't a direct attack on their internal network. The data came from an external storage location that they used mainly for automated emails, things such as appointment reminders. That's where the unauthorized access took place. In total, about 27 million rows of data was exposed, affecting roughly 11.2 million people. So the attackers didn't need to hack deep into the system, they just found a vulnerable spot on the outside. That shows how connected everything is and how even one weak point can cause a major breach. So on this slide, you can see what information was actually compromised. It included names, addresses, contact information, gender, and appointment details. So it wasn't medical records or social security numbers, but it was still enough to build a digital profile on someone. HCA confirmed that no clinical or financial information was touched, which lowers the immediate risk of identity theft. But attackers can still use this kind of data to trick people through targeted phishing emails or texts, so it's not harmless. The breach affected patients in 20 different states, which really shows how wide HCA's footprint is and how many people rely on their network for care. So HCA responded by shutting down the compromised storage system right away and bringing in outside cybersecurity experts to investigate. They also prepared notification letters for the people affected and offered free credit monitoring. The stolen data was listed for sale on a dark web marketplace, but at the time of reporting, there was no confirmed misuse. Still, patients were encouraged to be careful with unfamiliar calls or emails because this is exactly the kind of information scammers like to use. HCA said the breach didn't affect patient care or operations, which is good, but honestly, events like this can shake patient trust, and that's sometimes harder to repair than the technical side of the breach. So the big lesson from all of this is that vulnerability doesn't always come from the core systems. Sometimes it's the external tools or storage locations that create openings for attackers. Even non-medical data can still create risks for patients, so everything needs to be protected, not just the most sensitive categories. And when something big like this does happen, quick communication makes a big difference. So overall, the ACA breach is a reminder that healthcare organizations need strong cybersecurity practices across the board. From encryption to vendor oversight to constant monitoring, when patient trust is involved, there's no room for gaps.